Tilder! How do you work with dual audio tracks in Final Cut Pro if you use a stereo breakout cable for your GH5 and 2 audio sources? Select the clip, open the inspector, change stereo to dual mono, highlight the left channel to make your adjustments like gain and EQ, highlight the right channel to do the exact same thing, click up here if you want to work both channels like a submix or master with compressors and limiters, and that's all you gotta do. Done! Roll that intro! What's going on, everybody? You're watching Too Long Didn't Read Filmmaker, where the answers comes first, the reasons come last, but we're constantly and always still learning. Whoa! Hey guys, same office, but I finally got a chance to organize everything and also just change my background because that is a long time coming that I've wanted to do. And yes, I did kind of do a couple extra stuff for fun, and I will go over all of that in a room tour at some point. Because today we're going to be talking about why would you want to buy a stereo breakout cable going into your GH5, GH4, or any DSLRs that have a stereo mic input. Well, essentially what happens is I talked about this last week in my video up here. This cable essentially allows you to pair one Røde Wireless GO signal into the right channel, then another one into the left channel. Now, when you do it like this is awesome because it's extremely cheap to get 2 sets of audio tracks. Now, the main benefit is this. Let's say you're interviewing 2 different people, you gave them both their own little Røde Wireless GO so that you have the cleanest sound possible. But it turns out one of them talks extremely loud and the other one talks extremely soft. Now, if you record everything into one straight track like you normally would, when you're in post and you try to adjust for each person, they're going to move together and therefore you either clip somebody out or you don't hear them at all. So now that you have the loud talker in the left channel, and the soft talker in the right channel, you can actually go into the right channel and say, all right, let's bring this person up, let's bring this person down, let's give it a compression, a limiter, and let's EQ their voices because their voices are very different. And now all of a sudden you have a much more balanced signal. But be careful though, because in Final Cut, that's literally all you have to do. I don't know if in Premiere and DaVinci is different, but you want to make sure that you also export in such a way so that you're hearing this new leveled sound coming from both speakers on the left and the right. Because if you don't, then you end up just hearing the loud talker in one side and the soft talker on the other side. So without further ado, I'm just gonna show you real quick how I do it in Final Cut Pro. Okay, so right now I have the dual setup going into my GH4. So you're gonna hear my voice on the left side, and I've upped my dB levels quite a bit so that it's a lot louder than usual. So anyways, on the right side over here, I'm going to play the usual background music by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech, the Bossa Antigua. And now you should hear the music coming in the right channel. Now, if you're on a smartphone, you're probably not going to hear this at all. You're going to have to wear a headphone. I'm going to put a stop to that because you really can't hear what I'm trying to say with the music blaring that loud. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically turn the music down. So what we can do is we're going to click on the clip that has the stereo breakout cable in it. We're going to open up our inspector, make sure you're in the sound tab here. It says stereo, which is normal, but we're going to change it to dual mono. And at which point you'll see 2 different waveforms here. This top one is with the left channel, which is me talking. And then over here you see it's empty until I finally turn on the music right here. So what we can do is we're going to make sure we select the music side only. It's going to get highlighted, and then up here we can go ahead and drag down the dBs in the gain, and you'll notice that the waveform jumps. From here I can also do the same thing to the voice. The voice I'm going to bring down just a little bit, but I want to give myself a little bit more bass in my voice so I can actually EQ just that part. And from there you'll notice that, you know, each track changed on its own. And then going back to the clip here, if you're on a smartphone, you're probably not going to hear this at all. You're going to have to wear headphones. It doesn't sound too bad, right? But let's say after I've done all my adjustments, I want to add a compressor to it for the whole thing. If that's the case, you want to make sure you select up here, and then from there you can add your compressor, and more or less that should do it. You're going to have to wear headphones or watch it on TV or what have you. and doesn't sound too bad. And basically that compressor is almost like your submix is what this is up here. And these are your individual tracks. Now this can get a little confusing, so there's actually a much easier way where you can actually see everything that's going on. So I'm gonna go back here real quick. I'm gonna turn this back to dual mono. But what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna do anything in the inspector. I can actually right click over here and expand audio components. And as you look at it, it's the same thing. This is now my talking track. You can see the waveform. And then this is my music track. You can see the waveform. And I can go ahead and just grab that gain over here, drop it down, drop it a little bit. With this clicked, I'm gonna go into the menu here and I can again go ahead and mess around with the dB levels for my EQ. And after all of that, I'm going to double click and double click one more time. This is my submix now. So all I have to do again is add that compressor and, you know, adjust the gain how I see fit. And that's pretty much all you have to do in terms of Final Cut Pro 10. If you use DaVinci or Premiere, I have to assume that you just have to go into the audio tab somewhere and try to find the settings to allow dual mono to happen. And I think they call it different things, but essentially you can do the same things. If you are a Premiere or DaVinci user, go ahead and leave your set of instructions down in the comments below, and I will be sure to pin them up so whoever comes to this video that uses those NLEs can get a nice quick reference down below. Now this is by far the cheapest way to achieve 2 audio tracks in one GH5 signal, but it does have its own limitations in terms of you can't actually finite and fine-tune the levels of each channel as you go. There are 2 other tiers of products that you can buy, and the next one is just your basic, I guess, volume adjustment attachment. They come in at $30 to $50 some dollars, I think, and Ceramonic makes one, Beach Tech makes one, Comica I think makes one. They're very basic, and because the Røde Wireless GO sends such a hot signal, all you really have to do is just dial down the volume with these things, and they go into your GH5. You can either choose stereo mode or you can choose mono mode, so it does give you some options there. The last one is the most expensive, which is just to get an actual sound recorder. And I have my Tascam DR40 over here, which allows me to have 2 signals. And if the headphone jack or the output jack is a good one, from your recorder, you can just have it go straight into your GH5. So your GH5 kind of gets the full mix, but you also have safety audio tracks for much higher end preamps. And these things can cost anywhere from $100 all the way up to thousands of dollars, depending on what kind of recorder you want. And hey, that's it for this week, everybody. If this video has made all the influence in your purchasing decisions, I would really appreciate it if you check out my affiliate links down below. Again, this costs nothing extra to you, just gives me a little compensation so I can continue making videos like this for you. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave it down below. I will get to them as fast as I can. And until then, like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you guys in the next one.